Hello and welcome to Random Offense. I am Ethan Strauss. I am sick as a dog, ladies and gentlemen, but that's not me making an excuse for a bad show for you. That's me explaining that I cannot be held accountable for any loosey-goosey candid talk I have with our guest, Wosney Lambert, Big Woz of the Ringer fame, so many podcasts. Woz, I'm flying off the Dayquil and the NyQuil. I am a crazy man. My voice is altered, but how are you doing? Audience, it's nice to have you. You can ask questions. I sometimes forget to say that. It's a Zoom, yada, yada, yada. Woz, how are you?
I'm good, man. I actually spent the entire month of September sick,
Oh,
and it was crazy. It went from having the chills, cold sweats at night into a 2 week severe cough into strep throat. This is back to back to back to back to back. And what killed me is that strep throat is the only thing we've solved. You can just get some antibiotics and it's done in like 3 days. You got to keep taking them.
mm.
But 3 days later, you feel like a brand new man. Whereas with the common cold, you're relegated to Dayquil and Mucinex. And I'm like, does this stuff even work for real?
I don't know. It's crazy what we've solved and what we haven't. It's crazy to me that watching the 49ers, turf toe, we have not solved turf toe. We can't solve that. We can't solve it. It's like cancer of the foot. We have not solved that, but we have solved literal fatness. We created a
Yeah.
drug that convinces people to not eat too much. We have solved that, which seemed impossible to me. We have solved that, but we have not solved turf toe or the common cold. It just seems quite random wise.
And if you go to that section in CVS, it's crazy how much stuff is there for cold, flu, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I'm taking it. I'm like, this shit ain't actually working. This is no way this is actually curing me.
The more it doesn't work, the more stuff they offer. If it actually
Exactly.
worked, it's just
Exactly.
we got the thing right there. There's one thing, you buy the thing. Somebody has a monopoly on the thing because it actually works. But
Exactly.
yes, I don't know. Whatever. We're gonna talk a little bit of NBA. We might even talk a little meta NBA. It feels like the NBA is not as hot right now. And Waz is an
Mhm.
interesting economic theory. I think it's true. It's a very interesting theory to me is why the NBA lead up has less buzz going into the season. We're going to talk about our favorite. Is he the sugar daddy? How does the sugar daddy thing work? Is Bill Belichick a sugar daddy? I'm trying to remember how that works over there at
He's
UNC.
definitely a sugar daddy.
There's
Jordan is a sugar baby, and Belichick is a
okay.
sugar daddy.
Okay, I'm glad we have our terminology correct because there's some interesting found
Yeah.
footage off our tabloid journalist friend Pablo Torres, who has
Yes.
released clips off the hot mic of Jordan Hudson, Sugar Baby, managing the filming of one Bill Belichick. We might discuss the mystery of how we don't even know how tall Victor Wembanyama is. It's very strange to me. I might avoid that topic just because saying his last name always feels like an adventure. Speaking of people like that, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Waz has thoughts on his whole 1 foot out the door or is 1 foot out the door dance in Milwaukee. I'm afraid to talk about that because Bucks fans are crazy about it. We've got Teutonia World, I think, in the whole chat Zoom, Bucks super fan. I don't want to get yelled at, so I approach that with trepidation. And we also might talk about whether Taylor Swift in her marriage to Travis Kelce, her recent album, which appears to be creating some sort of cultural stir, whether the new baby boom is upon us or her fan base is rejecting that. We are experts on that. People look to Waz and
Yes.
I as the
Yes.
people who can answer that kind of question.
I think I'm
Do
pretty good at millennial women. I
you?
think
Oh,
I'm
oh,
I'm up
oh,
there in terms
oh.
of knowledge. I think I'm up there on that specific topic.
Okay. Well, then we're really gonna have to get into that.
God knows I've tried to be.
And maybe if we have time, I might grill Waz on Hassan Piker, an
Yes.
associate of his,
He's not
shocking
an
his dog with a shot collar.
associate. He's not an associate. I'm a fan of what he
Look, I
does.
heard, like Angela Davis, Just like Angela Davis provided the sawed-off shotgun that killed that judge. I heard. This is what I heard, that Woz provided the shot collar. That's what I heard. That's what I was told. That's what I heard. It's just like, I'm not saying it's true. That's what I heard. Let's start off with Bill Belichick. Let's play an element. We've got an element here. I might cut it off a little bit early, but this right here, I want to play it because there's this article out called The Great Feminization by a conservative writer. I want to put it to everybody, including Woz. Is what we're seeing with the downfall of Belichick, the great feminization, or something a little bit older. So let's roll this from Pablo Torre Finds Out.
Use Adobe Photoshop, and honestly, this is something I've done before.
This is a brutal when she says, I don't have any real graphics experience. It's like that's kind of the beginning and end of this,
that's
my
kind
bro.
Of what we're. It's crazy. Why is everybody just letting her go without somebody going? Hello, we are all creating something, and while your input seems very important to you, it's less important to me, the guy whose job it is to finish making this thing that you are actively getting in the way of right now. So we'll try to fix the things you're asking for, but I need you to get out of here so we can record with these two because I only have an hour left of this studio.
It also seems like Bill trusts her inherently in a way that's like,
in a way
that's
like his boo.
That's like, but I think it's
that's
really
his
like
muse. That's his little mermaid.
Like she figured out how to reset she figured out how to reset his Capital One password, and he's like, she knows everything.
She knows everything.
She knows she can do everything.
She knows everything. Yeah, but Matt Patricia, stand up. Like, put your shoulders back and go, can we get on with it, please? Somebody has to say, can we get on with the taping, please?
It's got to be Bill. Bill's got to be the one.
It's never going to be Bill.
I know, but that's who it's got to be.
Welcome to Belichick Productions.
This is nuts.
This is what these things are. That's the power dynamics. A lot of people standing around afraid to make him feel like he's not in charge or whatever.
We can cut it. We've rolled it. It's great stuff. They had great takes. I love it. I think it's actually as silly a topic. And I've seen our guy Pablo slammed for the TMZ. Is it prurient? Whatever his interest is. And he had that argument with Bill Simmons over whether it was proper. I thought that was a good podcast they did, but there's something here, man.
UNC's getting smoked right now. How is this not relevant?
They're getting crushed.
They suck.
I don't know if he's going to make it through the season. It's going so bad. I'm not blaming.
How is this not relevant when the greatest coach of all time is just rank amateur hour at fucking UNC, bro? They'd be happy with 7 wins this season, and he's failing miserably. How could this not be relevant?
Well, I think it is relevant to that particular story. That opening game was the beginning and the end of that story in many ways. It was crazy. They had a good drive for a touchdown.
Jordan high-fiving in the suites. It was crazy.
So many stars there. Michael Jordan, Lawrence Taylor, they're all there. And then it's just revealed that this is a disaster. The game has passed him by. And I don't necessarily think it's the fault of this woman in her mid-20s whom he has ceded so much power to, but I think it's an interesting...
I'm fascinated by this story.
I'm fascinated because it also confounds a lot of... You heard power dynamics, and it was used properly. The power dynamics are that Bill Belichick is the austere, scary, grand man. He's got a lot of power, but this woman has power over him. So who has the power? And it really confounds some of our conversations we had just a few years ago where men have the power, women don't have the power. It's a little bit complicated. It's a little bit confounded.
Look, the Belichick thing with Jordan is not very hard for me to understand. Like, this guy probably got the most mind-blowing head of his life, and he cannot get over it, okay? This isn't hard to get. It's really, like, that simple. What I'm fascinated about is the cultural discourse, because this is so anti-Me Too. It's crazy that nobody talks about it. It is so against the tide of that movement. The idea that a woman who is subordinate to Bill Belichick, basically in the Bill Belichick enterprises, the age gap shit that we had to get lectured about for how many years, his money, his power, his influence. If we were to be under the Me Too paradigm, we would be killing Bill Belichick for taking advantage of this cute, cuddly, innocent 24-year-old girl. But the paradigm has shifted so crazily that it's like, no, like the discourse is about this woman, this young woman, and the perception that she's taking advantage, that she's getting over, that she is using Belichick, that she is, I mean, the way that people talk about it, it's almost like it's elder abuse.
That's the funny thing about the age
way
gap.
that people are framing it. And I'm just so fascinated by, I'm telling you, our same liberal friends who are just killing this girl in public in 2018 would have been killing Bill Belichick for this, even if the relationship was exactly as it is right now.
So that's interesting. It would have been more of a focus on this means something about him. Although there is a truth to there is a truth to the power dynamics of the age gap where to a certain point you get to a level where it then flips, where 40 to 20, I do feel like there's a lot more power on the 40. But once you start escalating and escalating and escalating, and once you're into the senior citizen range, that's when we get the whole elder abuse, Anna Nicole Smith, what's going on here? And there wasn't a lot of nuance.
Anna Nicole Smith.
I mean, that's one reference, but I think this is one of these stories where, yeah, it's about one sports program, but people have seen this in their lives. I know people who've dealt with this where there are family members and there's this younger woman and she's trying to get in on the inheritance of the patriarch of the family. We saw it to an extent in that show. I said concession instead of succession. Succession. It's funny because from a different political perspective to what you're saying, if we just go back in a time capsule and somebody shows that clip, I believe everything Pablo's guests are saying in that clip. I agree with everything they're saying, but I feel like if you played that clip in 2018 and I'm sitting in there, I just feel like they react to it different possibly. And if I'm going, why is she bossing them around? It's called having high agency, folks. Why is that a problem? Oh, it's a problem that she's got a vision and she's acting as a producer. Why can't she act as a producer? Right. I feel like that would have been more of the conversation instead of what the hell is this person doing? She has not earned the right. She doesn't have the stripes to do it.
Yeah, 100%. And I think there's so many things to critique about the Me Too era. I remember talking to this woman named Heidi Matthews. She's a professor, and I think it's Osgood. It's a university in Canada. Sorry if I'm messing that up. But like she was like one of the only people in the discourse I can remember being like, yo, there's a way to take this too far, in the sense that we already have sexual assault laws on the books. If we make them more strict, we know who are going to be most adversely affected. It's people with the most limited means. And I was like, damn, that's factual. That's just true. Like if we just make these laws, right? Because it's one thing to like be kind of cast aside in society and people just kind of turn their nose up at you when you go to a dinner party. It's another thing to like, if somebody has been transgressed against in a certain way, the state needs to get involved. And she was like, bro, we have these laws on the books, and to make them even more draconian would be to the detriment of our most vulnerable people in society. We know for a fact that the people that will end up going to jail for this is not Harvey Weinstein, fam. Not the people with the means to get, to mount a certain kind of defense. It's going to be the people who are the most vulnerable in our society. And, there was just a certain kind of zeal with that. I would say even another one of these that came up that nobody wanted to like talk about in this exact way was Ime Udoka and the situation with the Celtics.
Yeah, that one.
And I was like, guys, like y'all really think like this woman couldn't be convinced on her own that it's a good idea to fuck Ime Udoka? That she was somehow coerced because he's the head coach? Like she could not possibly have the agency to want to do this? Like really? Y'all really think that?
That one was a mess. That one was interesting. And I think I was wrong about that one in a way, because from what I heard, he would never work again because of how he handled things internally, how he handled things with the Celtics, how, let's just say, maybe there wasn't too much honesty when confronted about what was happening. But I was wrong. He did get another shot, and he's done a great job with the Houston Rockets.
Yeah.
And I think that one was complicated, because everyone kind of knew what happened with the scandal with the Celtics that we are talking about. You listening right now, you might not even know about it, for all I know.
Yeah, it's one of the more the firing was covered. We still don't know. That's never been reported, Ethan.
We don't know, but we
know, but we don't know.
We know, but we don't know. We know that he had a sexual relationship with somebody who worked under him, and that person was married. That is what we think we know. I'm going to throw all the allegedlys, but it was a crazy situation because when the Celtics ownership gave a press conference on it, to me, it symbolized almost, I don't want to say the death of media, but the waning of adversarial media, because they were saying, look, we're putting him on indefinite suspension because of something he did. We cannot tell you it. And the surrounding media, I'd heard just for all my life, my professional life, that we out here in the Bay Area are soft. And I'm watching the Boston media just go, okay.
Please. Boston media is the most servile that exists. Get the fuck out of here.
Okay.
That's crazy.
The guy who just made the finals, he's suspended indefinitely. Makes sense. Great. We don't need to know why. We don't need to ask any questions about whether you are hiding something, Boston Celtics. We don't need to ask any questions about that, because the implication might be something like that. Instead, it was all very much an acceptance, and then it was handled the way it was handled. He gets forced out. He gets brought in. It's controversial when he gets hired by the Houston Rockets, and he has done well since. But that leads us to another element. I hope we have this. What do you think of this? I'm hearing people talk about this behind the scenes in media, in NBA media. The Boston Celtics, they surprised the media. The media thought they were going to do a little fun
I love
game,
this, by the way.
a little fun pickup basketball game with the coaches of the Celtics. Mazzulla, the coach of the Celtics, announced, no, it's going to be the coaches against you. And there was a clip of this that went out on the internet. Let's play it. Let's roll it. I think, is that Noah? There's the shot. 57-4. Okay. What is going on with that? It's like it's bad enough they had the press conference a couple of years ago I mentioned. What is happening there? Because back in my younger days, I would go to Summer League and they would have these pickup games.
Yeah.
And it was fun. They would have a lot of coaches and they would have occasional players. Mo Spates wound up on my team. I went against Luke Walton. It was cool. And I didn't get myself grievously injured because I was younger back then. But, it was kind of a happy thing. It was kind of a fun thing. They liked going at you because you're this media nerd criticizing. Yeah. And these former coaches, or these coaches, you were often former players. These guys are good. They're guys, who I knew of. I played against Landry Fields.
Yeah.
I mentioned Luke Walton. There are these other guys there, but there are guys I didn't even know who they were.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I played last year. Not this last summer league, but the one before it. No, I think it was actually maybe the last. Anyway, it doesn't matter. The point is, I got out there on an island against some guy who works for the Kings. I've just never felt more vulnerable or helpless. He created space. I didn't even know how the space happened. I didn't even know how it happened. And what I'm hearing from some people in NBA media, some guys who like to hoop, is that, I feel a certain way about this. And I would pretend not to. I pretend not to if they did it like this to me and they made it a big media production. and they sprung it on me that it would be them versus us completely, and they pounded me into the ground, I'd feel a certain way, but I'd have to be like that meme of the Wojak with the smiley face and the tears behind it. I got to say, you love it, Woz. I don't know about this.
I love it, but Ethan, this is what it speaks to. These are not your fucking friends, bro. Like, they gave the media a fucking wedgie and they posted it. All right? Kids these days, they'll never get a fucking wedgie again. Okay? That was more us growing up. But that's what Boston coaches did to the media that day. They gave them a wedgie. And they posted it online for the world to see it. So now, guess what? Next time you're in position to give them a proverbial wedgie at a fucking press conference where they're pretending to act like they don't know why they suspended their coaches, why don't you give them a wedgie back? Because these aren't your friends.
If that's you playing in that game, does somebody get an elbow?
Oh, my God. I'm fouling the shit out of Joe Mazzulla. 100. What? I'm putting people on their ass. Are you crazy?
I'll just say something else because it's 2025. There's been a shifting of the vibe. It's like, can we just say it's a little weird if you are the coaches of the Boston Celtics, you're some former D1 guys, you're some former players, you're going against the co-ed media, co-ed, ladies and gentlemen, as in ladies and gentlemen, and you're beating them by over 50. What's going on?
I honestly
enough love at home growing up.
No,
what are you looking
I
for?
completely disagree. And I would love to know what those media members objected to exactly.
I mean, not the ones who played. I'm talking to some other people.
Yeah, what were their objections specifically?
Well, there wasn't objection so much as there was, if that was me, I would have to pretend to like it, but I would be really
But what
off.
don't you like about it? Is what I'm asking.
They took a fun thing where we're all trying to humanize each other and we're trying to play each other and we're on different teams. And they turned it into, I'm going to try to embarrass you and humiliate you. I think it's, by the way, two different conversations. If this is just done in the sanctum of the way I played at Summer League and it's not going out to the world, that's one thing. But once this is for everybody to see, I think that becomes another thing.
Can I say something about our cohort? They're too self-serious and too fucking insecure as a group. Some of the most insecure people in the history of fucking life are people in our industry. Like, bruh, you're not as good as D1 players, and everybody knows it. So fucking what? Like I said, like, you will have your opportunity to do the same. You will, if you take your job seriously. If your job is to be like, yo, I want to get information, I want to hold people accountable, I want to be good at what I do, you can do this same shit back in your own way. Yes, you don't get to look like a good hooper for 3 days on the internet. Boo fucking who? So what? Nobody thought you were good anyway.
True.
Which is why what are we doing? Nobody thinks y'all can hoop.
Which is what I said to Mark Stein when I played in some media game where, by the way, not to make excuses, but we were playing in Walnut Creek in the summertime. There was no air conditioning in there. Felt like it made us look real bad. But he was saying, you never do that. You never show them that. You never show them you playing. And I went, these guys think I suck anyway. They think I suck.
Nobody thinks you're good, bro.
I went out there and I sucked. I went in the locker room. The Warriors players were saying, man, you're a lot better than I thought you were.
Like, come on, bro. Like, like nobody thinks. Like, I don't know what media people think players think about them. They must have some warped idea. Like, to be honest, players don't even know the nature of your job, bro. They don't think about you that much. Like in terms of learning about, like, they don't know you. They don't care to know you. Yeah. I remember, I'll never forget this shit. Jovan, during the 2019-2020 season, I think it was the first Kawhi year. Jovan, no, was it? Yeah, it was 1920. Jovan wrote like a big Clippers expose for us at the Athletic.
Yeah.
About how people were annoyed with Kawhi's, special treatment, and some people don't like this, and like it was dope. He did a great job of explaining the sort of internal dynamics of the team. It ended up being a big story, went decently viral. The next time the Clippers had a home game, we all go in the locker room after the game, and Pat Bev comes in, and he starts. I think undressing is too strong of a term, but he basically is kind of confronting the rest of the media scrum and asks them why they didn't tell the team, why they didn't tell the players Jovan was about to do what he did. People who work at Orange County Register, LA Times, whatever other, online outlet, and these guys would these media people was like, wait, Pat Bev doesn't know how the media works? No, they don't, bro. They don't think about you and your job. They don't think about you and your self-conception of yourself, your perception of yourself. They don't care about you at all.
They make the other mistake too of not knowing that you're on a team. That when I was at the Athletic, I'd have players are going, I never told you that. How'd you know about that? And in my head, I'm going, you talk to my colleague and we just go and talk about it. That's what happens.
That's again, it's not to say that players are dumb or stupid. It's our jobs to become deeply familiar and intimate with what they do and how they do it and why they do it and their motivations and blah. That's our job to learn those things. They don't gotta know shit about us.
Okay, but let's get back to the coaches, because Teutonia World, he says, implicit in the captured media conversation, fawning coverage is traded for getting along. The game betrays the silent understanding.
Yes, it does. That's what your boys were bitching about.
So you like it because it's betraying that, because it's shaking that up.
As my guy Carl would say, heighten the contradictions. Okay, I love that. It's a reminder, bro, they gave you a wedgie. It's to remind you, I could give you a wedgie if I wanted to, right?
Yeah.
In so many ways.
Maybe it's because I came up in a different era, Woz, and I'm an old man right now, that to me, it was more adversarial. I was used to it being more adversarial. Lindsey Hunter threatened to beat the shit out of me as a Warriors assistant coach.
You know why, Ethan? Because you were good at your fucking job as the beat writer of that team. Nobody over there thought you was their fucking boy.
Oh my God. Well, sometimes they did, and then it would go bad, but I mean,
and you would remind them that they weren't your boy.
I didn't need a media game to tell me that any of this angst was there. It was just quite obvious to me. Some people were overtly angry.
I don't think it's mean-spirited at all. I think it's the coaches showing their ass. Not only do we know a shit ton of hoop, I really get busy. When I was playing, I was a great player. Nobody thinks the media can hoop. Nobody. Literally nobody. Not the fans, not the players, not the coaches, not the refs. Nobody thinks you guys are good at this shit.
Yeah. And some of us are. Some people are.
Some people can play.
There have been dudes who can play. Chris Broussard, back in the day, he had a bit of a reputation. There might be 3 other guys who can play. I can't really name them off the top of my head. Chris Haynes was pretty good.
Yeah,
he
Chris Haynes has a reputation, yeah.
He got me on a pump fake. Nate Duncan is listed here. Nate is so interesting to play with. This is very niche right here, but he is so didactic and processes so quickly that when you're on his team, I just give my brain over to Nate. And he goes, do this, do that. Okay. It's kind of fun. You just feel like you're being puppeteered.
Nate can hoop, man. He's a real live big man. He will put your ass under the basket for real.
He's a large human. After the embarrassment ended, as Anthony Mays writes, Jaylen Brown called down to the media with a laugh. Anyone want to do media? What a strange thing. What a strange thing this thing was. Here's what I don't get. I think maybe this is what I'm touching on. It appears that the people in Boston on the Celtics side think that the media is maybe more critical of them than what I think. I think that's
the media is critical of Boston media.
No. The media is critical of the players, the coaches, the organization
of Boston Celtics.
Isn't that what's being conveyed right here? Like, what's this all about? What's going on if they don't think they're getting a raw deal?
You think Boston media thinks the Celtics?
No. I'm saying that the coaches and the players, this sort of thing coming out, it almost feels like they feel like they're being assessed in a way that's unfair, or they just want to bully the media.
I don't think that's it. I don't like, yeah. See, like this whole like second level signaling, I don't ascribe that to these folks. I don't think they work like that, bro. I think, yeah, May said, I think Joe Mazzulla is just an insane person.
Okay. Yeah.
And he thought this would be a great exercise.
Yeah, he thought it would be good for the development.
I don't think it has anything to do with them being like, oh, the media dunks on us, so we don't know. He just, they just wanted to like I said, they just wanted to give Boston media a wedgie, and they did so.
Yeah, he's like, this will be good for you. This is the hardest thing you've ever gone through. You've grown today. That crazy guy. It's a weird season for them, man. They're set up for a weird season.
I think they're going to be bad.
That's why they had to humble the media.
Really bad.
That's why they had to do it. Now we're getting second level.
They're going to be really bad. And I don't like what they did this offseason. I understand the guy that just came in, just spent billions of dollars. And it's like, why spend a lot on a team that isn't going to achieve? I just think functionally, to pack up a season as an organization that takes yourself serious about winning, I hate that as an ethos. It feels like they tore it down in a way that was semi-unnecessary. I understand getting underneath the second apron and not paying a ton of luxury tax. I understand that, but you should still want to try to win as many games as you can this year. I feel like the signal is that you're completely not.
Yeah.
And I hate that. I hate that.
Well, I think they're just one of these teams where I'm not sure what the hell the expectation should be. So it makes sense to humble the media because they're in charge of whether you've lived up to expectations. But let's slide into another NBA topic. You had some Giannis Antetokounmpo takes. And again, I am terrified. Have you seen these?
You fear the deer? No,
I fear the deer. The deer fans, some of them I'm friends with, are just the most quick trigger, angry. They are mad at us because they feel like we, the media, mostly ESPN, have been trying to chase Giannis out of town for years and construct these.
Wait, was the media behind Giannis asking them to look into a Knicks deal? The media did that?
Look, man.
The media is sitting at his dinner table every day and night with his family discussing their future?
Well, the latest thing is that he's moving his family to Greece. Our guy KOC floated that the only city with direct flights to Greece is New York City.
KOC is such a shit stir.
He really is. He really is. I mean, I don't know what to think. I just think Giannis kind of likes having one foot out the door. I don't think he's serious about leaving, but I think he always likes having that.
I think he's very serious about leaving. I think Giannis is an attention whore. Not to be disrespectful. I think he does like attention.
Oh, yeah.
He loves his accolades. He loves his stats. Giannis has a lot of vanity to him. And it clashes against the narrative that's been constructed for him as the child of Nigerian immigrants in Europe and selling, sunglasses or whatever the hell he was as a street vendor, and this humble and humility and the humble immigrant, blah, 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 all of that shit. Like the reality kind of bucks up against that, so nobody wants to acknowledge it. But to even participate in this exercise of, I kind of want to leave. I'm not,
okay. We got Titonia. We got Bucks fan here. We got We got to have him on here. We're going to see if we've transgressed.
Titonia, what's up?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey.
So I would agree with most of that, but we're on year 9 of this now. And like
year 9 of getting Giannis out of Milwaukee?
Max Kellerman on Christmas Day talked about it before the Christmas Day games in 2019 or whenever. It was like there've been all these rumors, and there's never like there's never a recapitulation later as to what was this to spin. I would totally agree if people were saying that, yeah, he's flirting. Like, he doesn't really have like the normal agent connections anyway. I think his agent is Greek, and so there's kind of a different dynamic. But we've gone through 8 years of people saying he wants out. I think he's always been flirtatious with it also, but there's never, like, when Kendrick Perkins comes on whatever, countdown set and says, hey, I've heard this, or hey, he wants out, or hey, how about the Heat? We've gone through infinite like iterations of this as if the Knicks would be any more of a contender. So, like, I think for a lot of Bucks fans like came up in the internet era, so they just worship the idea of having this guy on the team forever. But there's never really been any actual reporting on how much of this, like with LeBron, we know what comes out of his camp, right? With Durant, we know what's floated. With Giannis, has he actually literally just been flirting with Chris Haynes and like leaking this up, and him and Dame are like sitting in the living room, like laughing and releasing all this stuff? And we just never know, but it's Groundhog Day every year. And I would think at some point somebody would write a book, or there'd be some actual reporting on like who is leaking this and for what benefit.
Let me ask you something.
To what benefit is this stuff leaked?
Let me ask you something. Why did we never hear this type of shit about Tim Duncan or Dirk Nowitzki?
It's a different era. It was a post-decision era, though, too.
I mean,
because
Duncan did nearly leave once.
He had the one free agency when he was an actual free agent. There was never any chatter about Dirk wanting to leave Dallas, about Duncan wanting to leave San Antonio.
Well, now we know it's because Mark Cuban was compensating him.
I'm just saying, allegedly. Like, this chatter, like, I hate being the person that defends the media. I really hate this shit. But, like, I promise you it's not from nothing. Well, I promise you.
It's not. But Tonia's got a good, he's got
out
a good
of
point.
Thin air.
He's got a good point, which is that it's different, and so it's harder to know what the signals are. Here's what I've heard about Giannis.
Yes.
This is just what I've heard, and not about his decisions, but just he's not the easiest to work with behind the scenes for ESPN when they do these national games. That's what I've heard from people who work those games. And I think he's at a bit of a remove. And if you're not completely plugged into the American way of doing things and ESPN and everything else, I think it's harder to really know. And so that's part of it. I think I agree with Woz that there's been flirtation, but I also agree with Teutonia that there's also, because he's not in whatever we want to call the American dynamic, it's harder to know what the hell's happening. So that's what I'm saying.
But then his brother just got signed. So then again, is the actual dynamic is that something gets leaked, then Thanasis is back on the team, Alex is back on the two-way, or they trade for Drew Holiday, or they trade for Dame Lillard, and this is simply going back to Brett Favre and Rodgers, is it simply, hey, I complain, I leak some stuff every offseason, and the Bucks make a trade? Because that's the other possibility.
I think there's something different to this one. I hear you, and I could understand why somebody would see it that way. This feels different. Like, I'm of the mind that he's gone next summer. I think the Bucks were stupid not to trade him when he didn't sign the extension this summer, because now he's just going to be able to call his shot when he inevitably, because the team's not going to be good. So what he's doing is he's just going to be like, look, I tried. This team stinks. Trade me. It's literally the exact same thing Dame Lillard did his last year in Portland. Same kind of player, too, in terms of what he meant to the franchise. It's like, look, I'll only ask for a trade if winning isn't viable. Then I looked at the Dame roster his last year there, and winning was not going to be viable no matter what Dame Lillard. So I was like, oh, Dame's gone. So, like, the same thing with Giannis. It's like, oh, all I care about is competing for championships. This is not a championship roster. There's no viable path to a championship roster because of the horrible injuries and different things, bad drafting, whatever. But, like, it's like the road is so obviously going to play out in one direction. And, like, the idea that we're going to come out of this next summer after I'm not trying to be an asshole. The Bucks are going to be bad this year, bro.
The Bucks are winning 57 games this year. The Bucks are going to be very good this year. And they'd be worse than the Knicks. So whatever the Knicks would have to trade to give up, it'd be worse. And I would just like someone to acknowledge that it's better for the game it's better for the game if he's on a mediocre team in New York. We've all known that. I mean, that's the world we live in. But that's the actual calculus. It's not
You
about winning.
think this Bucks team is currently constructed with Kyle Kuzma as your third best player is better than what the Knicks would be with Giannis on it? Are you serious?
The Jalen Brunson. Serious? What are they gonna have? The Jalen Brunson.
No, you're not understanding, bro.
We've watched multiple years of the Pacers and random Heat teams get through the East. We know how the East goes. There's not like the Celtics are off the table.
Bro,
we have Thomas J. Thomas J says, I think the injured and broken East is playing out well for the Bucks. Shoot some threes.
No, it's
great
not.
Giannis season, and all of a sudden, 3-seed Bucks. And Dwight Howard's himself into returning once more.
Oh my God, guys! Giannis is gonna be on a 1-year deal. Nobody's gonna have to give anything of substance to the Bucks to have him, because he's gonna have them at a barrel. Like, you trade shit for me, know that I'm not re-signing with you. So that's going to scare competitive offers off, which means he's gonna call his shot, which means they're not gonna have to give up a bunch of shit to get him. He's backed the Bucks into a corner. Right?
But that part is fine.
What was that?
That part is fine.
I'm gonna ask this. Waz, I know what Titonio's rooting for. What are you rooting for to happen in this scenario?
Yeah, the Knicks.
I'm not rooting for. I don't like.
New York,
honestly,
man.
the Knicks thing
Queens
doesn't
Waz.
really. The Knicks thing doesn't really intrigue me that much, because I think the roster, unless they do it for Brunson, I think the roster becomes unbalanced without Cat, and it's not as intriguing. And I think Brunson, we know Giannis is not. He's not a give and go play with. He's a ball dominant. He wants to eat innings up. Brunson wants to do the same thing. The two pieces seem to be incongruent to me. I'm not intrigued by the Knicks
lefty
thing.
Dame.
Now, if they got rid of Brunson and kept Cat and kept the perimeter talent, and it was just basically shooters and defense around Giannis, that I'd be intrigued by. But we know Leon Rose is not going to trade his fucking godson. So I'm honestly not that basketball wise. It doesn't really move me that much.
Well, let's because we've been talking.
I'd love to see him with Steph. I'll say that.
We will get to Tony out. Great stuff, man. Thank you so much.
That was awesome, bro.
We got a Knicks element to play from the mayoral debate. This is a weird question. Do we have this element? Weird question for the three candidates for mayor. Only one of them, Zoran, I think, has any shot of winning right now. They were asked a sports question. I don't know why. Let's see this.
A dream scenario. We know it's not possible, but the Mets are playing Game 7 of the World Series on the same night as the Knicks are playing Game 7 of the NBA Championship, and you can only go to one. Which one will it be, Mr. Sleep?
Again, which baseball team?
This is the Mets, Game 7, Knicks, Game 7.
I'm not going to the Mets game. I'm a Yankee fan. True baseball fans either like one or the other. I'm going to the Knicks game. That's my team, the Knicks.
Mr. Cuomo?
I'm going to go half and half. I can make it back and forth.
What a fucking asshole!
New York is a sicko. Just pick a team.
What's your answer?
I'd be there for the Knicks.
Okay. Well, there's a lot of ground covered. We'll leave it on that light note. Thank you, candidate.
I just think it's so strange. What is this scenario? Is this some sort of COVID scenario where they're playing at the same time?
I don't know the scenario, but I like it in terms of where is your heart? It's obviously not with the New York Mets, these bastards. Nobody would go to the Mets. Unbelievable.
I don't get what Cuomo's doing right there. I mean, I just try to split the baby in half. It just makes no sense. I also just think it's so funny.
He's a machine politician, and we're not in a machine time, bro.
I would agree with that. I just think it's also a ridiculous scenario. I don't know what I would say if I was up there as a candidate.
You got to say Knicks.
You got to accept the premise of this crazy question.
The Brooklyn Nets aren't a team.
Why are we playing the NBA Finals at the same time as the World Series? Sorry to be aspy about the whole thing. I don't know what's happening. Why is this happening simultaneously? How is this happening? Also, it's easy. You say Knicks. They have a bigger fan base than the Mets.
It's so easy
to be a politician.
It's so easy to just say the Knicks.
But why is that question asked too?
Bro, the debate, like, I don't know why. First of all, that first debate, the moderators kind of embarrassed themselves. They did. And maybe they didn't get the message that people were disgusted with their efforts. But Jesus Christ, yeah, not shocked at all.
I mean, if the Knicks are in the NBA Finals,
I
might go. I mean, just
Game 7,
the Knicks
NBA Finals at Madison Square Garden. Are you kidding me?
The Knicks in the NBA Finals, that's such a bigger deal than the Mets in the World Series. That's just such a bigger deal. It's the sort of thing where I don't know if I ever thought I'd see it. I could see the Mets in the World Series. I think
the anti-Bucks coastal media Illuminati. I'm not, man. Like, I wanted the Bucks thing to work. You think I like seeing Boston do well? You think I like seeing the fucking Celtics do well? Like, you think I like seeing their local media have a fucking party every time they do something good? I hate that shit.
Maze is giving me guff about my logic on this. Also saying, how did the Knicks get home court? Yeah. The Knicks having a great season, dominant season, NBA Finals. What kind of politician are you if you're choosing the Mets over that? Crazy.
Yeah.
What is Aaron Reyes? Aaron, we're having a very speculative, dumb show. You better not make it too smart when we get you on to ask a question.
No, I'm not.
Oh, you're muted.
You were muted.
You're muted.
Can we unmute him?
Yep. Oh, I'm there. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes, we hear you now.
Oh, great. Yeah, I'm not going to ask serious questions. I'm a Laker fan. So I want to get Wuz's take on, can the Lakers realistically have more than 45 wins this year, assuming they don't have like massive injury implosions, and can they get to like the second round realistically? I mean, is that like where is that where expectations should be?
I think so. I think if everything is fine, if Luka's physical improvement is real, they should expect to win 48, 50 games. I think so. And then also, I think there's a clear pecking order with OKC, Denver, and I guess you would kind of have to put Houston there as well. I think everybody else, Golden State, Minnesota, the Lakers, I think they're all in that same sort of grouping.
What do you make of the nerd algorithm that has Golden State winning all these games? That the computers spat out a result at ESPN, Kevin Pelton, and they're the 96 Bulls.
I think the computer doesn't understand that they had to treat the time after the Jimmy Butler deal like a sprint. And so they played with playoff level intensity in order to get into the playoffs for those Jimmy Butler games. They were actually when Jimmy Butler came. And so I understand why the if you just put it in the computer with context, the actual output that they had was elite, was championship level. But for a group that old to sustain that over 82 and not just 30 games, which is what it was after they got Jimmy, I think is unrealistic.
Yeah, I think the computer doesn't understand. I think that's a great point. Yes. Yeah.
A quick follow-up. I mean, I think the Lakers are a disaster defensively. I don't think that's a big hot take.
Tough.
If you're in a leadership position, are you making moves for perimeter defenders, for youth, for like not really investing that to make this season the season, but really the next maybe 2 years? Because if they can't, if we can't be a top 10 defensive team, then it's just like we're just going to get crushed in the playoffs.
I think the roster is unbalanced in that way. And I don't know how you balance it when you have DeAndre Ayton, Luka Doncic, and Austin Reeves have to play. Right. And even LeBron is a very much diminished version of himself defensively. Like one trade for, I don't even know. Let's just say they could get somebody like Davion Mitchell, who I don't think they would trade but he's known to be like that point of attack, excellent defender, good at navigating screens on defense. He's like that kind of player. I don't know why you do that for this particular group. To me, it's like, you just paid the shit out of Luka Doncic. He got embarrassed by his former situation. The onus is on him to kind of carry this and make it what it needs to be. I don't think they should be like bending over back. This iteration of the team, y'all got to figure out whatever the hell is going on with LeBron. He's disgruntled. He's blah, 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 whatever. Like once y'all
he's 41.
Past,
I mean, at 41, it's like, thank you for your service.
Yeah.
We can focus on your
totally
plaques
agree.
and on your
Yeah.
do you want a statue 10 feet higher than Kareem's or 3 feet higher? Now, my over the top question is, do you think there's a new Athens-based direct flight from LA that could happen in the next year?
Get him off.
To 2
Get him
years.
off the screen. Ridiculous.
Oh my God, that is so funny. That is such a Lakers fan question. They don't get tired of photoshopping them jerseys, boy. I tell you, they are quick with that Photoshop button. Jordan would be proud.
How plausible is that? I mean, really.
Tony's not happy.
Oh my God. Oh my God. No, it's all about the Jokic Luka combo. That's the one that's really the
I would love it.
Oh, that would be interesting. That'd be very interesting, that combination right there. Yeah. That will get some clicks. They'll definitely get some clicks if you put that Photoshop out there. Well, let's see. We've got about 10 minutes left. I am dying, Woz. This has been a great show. I've been enjoying myself.
Yes, a lot of fun. Always fun.
As I physically
Maze said Piker.
Maze wants us to talk about that. I don't know if I want to talk about it.
No, I want to know what happened. I'm not in the internet discourse. Like Instagram does not feed me the Hassan hate. I don't get that.
Yeah. So you've been on Young Turks.
Yeah.
You know Hassan.
Yes.
There are these clips of him appearing to zap his dog. I'm not laughing. It's not funny, but it's just, I'm recapitulating this live. A dog named Kaya. I don't know the breed, but a designer breed. Adorable dog. Sits on a bed while he streams about 7 hours.
Yeah.
Clip of him constraining the dog, allegedly using a shock collar to get the dog back on the bed. People are just diving into the archives, finding other examples that appears to show that this has happened. That is not what you do with a dog. And there's something to this idea of projecting a humanized image using a dog, but then in order to make that dog perfect for the image you're projecting, treating the dog in a manner that is inhuman. And I'll tell you one thing, this is getting a little off topic here. It's a half Tibetan Mastiff, part Chow and part St. Bernard, is what Maze says. I had Matt Belinsky on, who was on the other side of the ideological spectrum from Hassan, and he was saying, and we didn't record it, that he's very anti-Hassan. He hates him. He's glad this happened to him. But he found that this being the issue people had,
it's bullshit,
to be indicative of something wrong with society, that dogs are more valuable.
Yes.
I don't feel that way.
Yes.
But I thought that was something you might agree
Y'all
with.
love these fucking dogs too much. I'm sorry. I don't feel like not even a little bit of a pain goes through my body that the dog got corporal punishment. Because that's what it is. That's what it is. It's corporal punishment. I'm somebody who got whooped by my mom growing up. My mom would take her slipper off and whoop my ass when I was 7 years old. I remember I lost the Catholic schools. They make you fundraise with these nasty ass chocolates. And it's like $50, right? You got to go out and sell to your family and neighbors and all this shit. $50. My mom put the envelope. She put it in like a piece of paper. She didn't have an envelope. And I was bringing that $50 to school. I lost that shit. I just threw the paper out of my jacket, not realizing it was $50. And then months down the line, they sent a letter to the crib like, yo, y'all never fundraised for us. Like, what the fuck? And my mom was like, I sent you with $50 to that school. What the fuck happened to my money? Whoop my ass. I cried. It wasn't fun. It sucked. It was corporal punishment. I got over it, bro. Life moved on. For this little fucking dog to get you got a little pang in the neck, man. So what? Get up. Move on. That's the problem with society today. Lack of grit. Everybody's a little fucking pussy. Like, so what? The dog is fine, bro. The dog's not dying. He's not being tortured.
I was trying to float the idea that you
outta
offered to
here.
buy that dog, but now I have reservations.
Fuck out of here,
Ryan
bro.
S says that Hassan said he was reaching for his Zyn can and not shocking his dog. I don't know how to prove any of this. I would say
we would never cry this much for a human being, bro, at all. We wouldn't give a fuck.
Which is interesting.
We wouldn't care, bro.
Okay, let's get into that with our last few minutes. What is that? What is that? Why do we like dogs better than people? What's going on?
I think we ascribe a certain level of agency to people, and if something bad happens to them, they deserve it. Whereas the dog kind of has no agency. It's kind of so stupid, doesn't know when it's being stupid, so therefore doesn't deserve anything that happens to it. That's all it is. We look at people as like, something bad happens to you, you deserve it, because we're very individualistically focused, and we ascribe anything that happens to somebody as your own fault. It's just the American Protestant way. That's just it.
Thomas J says the human being could have opinions that don't match my own. I really think it comes down to that. The dog doesn't have opinions.
It's all of that. All of that.
The dog just the dog loves.
Bro, the American obsession with dogs, bro, is like something that I will never relate to, understand.
I think it's good, but it goes too far.
It goes too far.
I think it's good when societies care about animal welfare. I think that's good. That's a good indication of a society. I love dogs, but when it gets into this place, I've said, when I go down to 4th Street, Berkeley, I remember having the thought that I would bring my dog down there and he's just treated like a king, my dear departed dog, RIP, but he was just treated like a king. It was almost like that scene in Aladdin, the Prince Ali scene, where everyone's just like, oh, here you go. And then I had a kid, I had a little baby, and it's just, they don't even see the baby. They don't even care. And it really struck me because I took my then baby to a Chinese restaurant, and the waitresses and the wait staff were all just love, attention, da, 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 da. And it was just interesting. It was interesting how the dog is who gets the love and attention in this more upper middle class, whiter space on 4th Street, Berkeley, but you go to a different cultural space and it's the baby, the young human who gets the attention and the love. So I don't have any.
Put it like this,
Ethan. I still want to save that dog, Juan. I still want to save that dog.
I work the Ringer offices. Spotify is in Arts District, DTLA, which means we are situated less than half a mile from Skid Row. Could there ever be a Skid Row of dogs? You think that would ever be allowed to function in a society? Like, do you really think we would just have an area designated to dogs that are just dying?
Somebody would do
sickly?
something.
Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Somebody would do something.
We would never allow that shit in this country. But we could just let people, like, you know, I'm in downtown San Francisco for All-Star game. I'm going to meet up with a homie, and there's a dude literally laying on the floor. His fucking needles are fucking right next to him. And that's like something that's seen as humane, that he's allowed to die and wither away on the sidewalk because he's a human being.
He's got to get a fur coat. Charlie Saturday says a dog can't join a media conspiracy to get the best player off your favorite team. Ryan S says I've got a training collar for my dog too. I like to let her off leash.
Ryan S, shouts to you.
Our dog
discipline that little fucking mutt.
I can't let us get out of this episode without reminding Woz of the Ted Chronicles.
Oh. Yeah.
Of Ted the dog.
You had an issue with the dog.
My God,
you're reformed. You're making people think you're all callous. You're a
bro.
Cat
It's
guy.
not callous. Like, so in a previous relationship, the person I was with had a dog, and I was obviously a work from home media person, and she went to the office every single day when we were living together. So what ends up happening, I'm spending 10, 11 hours a day by myself with this dog, and me and the dog just grew a fucking connection. Like, we were hanging out every single day to the point when she would come home and we were both on the couch, Ted would come sit next to me. Like, that was just what happened. And then, you know, Ted ended up passing away, which was sad. But I got love for Ted. But shit, man, if we could get a goddamn shock collar to make Ted act right, I wouldn't have been against it. And I love Ted. I picked up his shit with my bare fucking hands every single day.
I think there is a difference. And I don't even know if we did the exposition of how Hassan Piker is a controversial political figure. And this seems to be what's taking him down not any of the other opinions,
Shit ain't
which is
taking
interesting.
nobody down, man.
This is interesting. I think there's a difference between a shock collar to get the dog to sit still for 7 hours for your live stream versus getting the dog to, I don't know.
Oh, so that's what the conspiracy is, that the shock collar is literally so he can look pretty on stream.
I think the main issue is that he got a dog, but he doesn't really want to have a dog for the reason that people get dogs, which is to let a dog be a dog. He got the dog as a prop.
Yeah.
Because it's cute and it's in the background of his live
So
stream.
you should just want a dog to just fuck your shit up, shit all over your house. Just suck generally to be around. Like that's the position.
Or do what I did, remember when we were live streaming years ago and you guys would just give me so much hell when the dog walker came over?
Hire a dog walker, Hassan. You got enough money, buddy.
Yeah, I feel no sympathy for the fucking dog. He's eating plush meals every single day. He's in a safe ass environment.
That's what Hassan says. He says, my mom spoils the dog. Like this dog is spoiled.
The dog is fine. I promise you, if the dog could talk, he'd be telling all of y'all to shut the fuck up.
I think it might be a sheep. I think we should get this accuracy.
I promise you, if this dog could speak, it'd be like, nah, my owners treat me great. I'm happy.
It's just interesting. It's interesting how people react to that emotionally.
Remember when Christy Nome said she was shooting dogs?
I remember there was
had no impact on her political career.
I mean, what was the context she was shooting the dogs?
Executing dogs or some shit. I don't remember. It was like to make her feel or sound tough.
It is kind of funny that we'll just kill however many coyotes. They're just like dogs, but out in the wild, and nobody will care about it. There are people on YouTube showing off that they got 25 coyotes within a fence.
Bruh.
Nobody cares.
Mike Vick committed crimes and like he deserved to go to jail and all of that shit for what he was doing.
I don't even know if I think that.
The Mike Vick backlash was over the top, bro.
It was a different era.
It was over the top.
It was a different era. That was the era where we canceled Tiger Woods over just
for getting pussy.
It was a different. We were innocent. We were so innocent back then.
A billionaire wasn't monogamous. Oh my God. How can we as a society keep this thing together?
Rick Riley.
He's fucking the waitress at Perkins. No.
I remember watching TV, seeing Rick Riley, biggest sports writer in America, near tears. He might have been crying.
Oh my God.
About this Tiger Woods situation. It was a different time, man. Now nobody cares about anything. Nobody cares about anything.
Go back and read my man Chuck Pierce in Esquire on Tiger Woods.
Okay.
Where Tiger Woods, I guess, thought he was off the record. And Charlie Pierce wrote an incredible profile that so obviously accurately portrayed who Tiger Woods actually was as a young man at that time. And he got a lot of guff for it because Tiger was the golden boy. And you're like, you're selling his image. He's like, what the fuck? This is who this dude actually is.
Yeah. The Jordan rules, but for Tiger.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a different era that we're in. But hey, Woz, you're more podcast than man at this point. This is what we do. Man. We say as we exit, we give you an opportunity to plug your many, many ventures and to disabuse anybody of the notion that you are cruel towards animals if you so choose to use this.
I have a cat here. The cat doesn't have a collar. Mimi she's thankfully she does the only thing that I care about. She pisses and shits in the right place. Everything else is kind of meaningless. My couch done been scratched up to hell.
Yeah.
My freaking bed frame, I spent like $1,500 on that shit. Cooked by this cat.
I wish my boy cat.
I wish there was a way to abate that, but there isn't. It is what it is.
Yeah, my boy cat. This is fascinating cultural commentary for everybody right here. But my boy cat is obsessed with getting into our bedroom, and the second he gets in, he pisses on the bed and he will scratch on the outside. I just want to know the why of it. Like, what is this compulsion? Why is this the thing he wants to do more than
he might have?
Else?
I think he might have did it one time, and then it became
yeah, if he's done it once, he's gonna keep doing it.
Yeah, I love it there. I'm just gonna keep doing it. Y'all might just have to get rid of the bed.
That's probably you have to do something.
I don't even think it would be that.
Yeah,
he yells, he meows, he scratches at the outside the door. Other than that, perfect cat. This is his one flaw. It's a big flaw. It's a huge flaw. The cat is flawless. Other than this, but anyway. You're supposed to be plugging
Oh
stuff,
yeah,
not talking about my cat.
A Ringer NBA show, group chat, all of the stuff that we do at the Ringer. Go check that out as soon as you can, guys.
Okay, beautiful show. I'm gonna keel over. The Dayquil is wearing off. Big thanks to Big Waz for just powering through entertaining stuff, and thanks to all for the questions. Until next time, see ya.